Good morning. Before Jim and myself speak, I'd like to thank Heart of Midlothian's official umbrella bearer, Mr. Tam Henry, for standing here with a very sore arm. I'm privileged to introduce the manager of Heart of Midlothian Football Club, who's going to be reading a letter from the manager of Heart of Midlothian Football Club in 1916, Mr. John McCartney. The letter, fittingly, is about a young man who was killed in action with the 16th Royal Scots called Harold Smith. Harold was 24 years old, 5 foot 4 inches tall. He had a trial for Hearts in 1912 because he supported the club, wanted to play for Hearts, but wasn't good enough to play for Hearts. He ended up playing for Hibernian and Gallifreydine, and in 1914 he was working as an insurance agent in Edinburgh. Well, there's a former insurance agent and a former Gallifreydine player standing right behind me who's about to read this letter. Harry was killed in action on the first day of the Battle of the Somme. He has no known grave. Interestingly, we have two letters. One from John McCartney to Harry's wife, or widow, Minnie, and a very, very moving letter from Minnie to John McCartney. Minnie had just lost her husband, but she took time out in her letter to commiserate with John McCartney because he had lost a team of sons. The two letters taken together are very, very moving, and Jim is going to read them for you. Thank you.
A letter from John McCartney. We had the great privilege of managing this football club, sharing that with him. Dear Mrs. Smith, I have heard this morning from France that your husband, Harold Smith, was killed on the 1st of July. There seems to be no small doubt that this is only too true. There would appear to be a very remote chance of him being taken prisoner. Some of the 16th Royal Scots have come in after being thought killed. We got official word this forenoon that Curry was killed, and yet he was only reported wounded to me some time ago. It is truly an awful time, and I would beg you to accept my deepest sympathy and condolence in your severe hour of trial. Consolation to some extent is found that he died a hero in the great cause of liberty, so that we might live. If you have any information about your dear husband, I shall be thankful to hear. Yours very sincerely, John McCartney. The reply: Dear Mr. McCartney, thank you for your kind letter. I received word from Lieutenant Lodge that my husband was among those killed on the 1st of July. It appears that a terrible fate has befallen the battalion. All across the town there are families in mourning. At least I have the consolation of certainty. There are many men listed as simply missing. What a dreadful weight their loved ones must have for confirmation. Your words are a comfort to me, and more so because Harold you held in such high esteem. I know that you too have suffered a great loss. Your players, by all accounts, are like sons to you. As a mother, I know how unhappy you must feel. May I return your condolences and express the hope that you will find the strength to bear your grief. We will miss Harold terribly. He was a wonderful husband, a father, and we had such a happy home. The thought that that kindness will sustain me through the coming weeks, but I mourn a husband of rare kindness and humour. That I will never hear his laughter and see his smiling face again is so terribly sad. I enclose Mr. Lodge's letter. You will see that he refers to the other men who you may know. I will be grateful if you will return it to me as soon as possible. Yours sincerely, Minnie Smith. Can I just finish by saying that it's appropriate this week, after the team's superb run of results in this last 6 days, we dedicate these victories to the team of 1914.